Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Kageyama, and I'd like to welcome everyone here to Be Your Own Hero. I'm a stage 4 prostate, bone, and lung cancer patient. Been dealing with cancer since 2021, doing absolutely fantastic. And I'm very happy. There are so many things going on, some of which I can't share right here yet, but I will. Um, what I do want to mention is this. I've been honored and blessed to be the keynote speaker at a live event in in Dunmore, Pennsylvania. And it's through Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer by Tim Sohn and Erica Newbert Campbell. And it's a live event where it's a 2-day event and we have an opportunity to meet people in person. And I think it's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. So if you are at all interested, send me a DM or whatever method that you want that you have in contact with me. You can put it on my YouTube channel, LinkedIn, Instagram, any of those. That's fine. But that's something that I am really looking forward to, and I hope to see some of you out there as well. And today, I am so excited about having an incredible gentleman. His name is Harold Grabowski. Harold,
Hey,
please introduce yourself and tell
I
us a little
sure.
bit who you are.
Okay, very good. First of all, I am my own hero. That's for sure. So,
Awesome.
anyways, my name is Harold Grabowski, and I grew up in a small town. I currently live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm a mechanical engineer. I design HVAC systems for complicated applications like biohazard labs, stuff like that. And I'm 59 years old, and I have been with cancer for 2.5 years. Mark and I are pretty much on the same schedule.
Yes, we are. You got diagnosed in what month?
It was January of 2021.
Okay, I was dealing with it then, but I didn't get diagnosed until a few months later. But I was definitely going through all the testing at that time, so I'm
Yeah.
right there with you.
Yes, we are. I love it.
So, Harold, how did your cancer journey start?
Okay, it started on January 8th, 2021. On that Monday, I had some pain in my lower right abdomen. And through the week, it progressed. And by the time Friday came around, it was painful enough that I had to go to the emergency room. So I did. They took me in and they gave me a room. And then eventually they came and they pulled me out to go have a CT, CAT scan. And the girls were very chatty and very happy on the way to the CT. But when the CT was done, they had a changed attitude. They were very quiet. And I took that as maybe they saw something that I don't want to see myself. So they brought me back into the room. And about a half hour later, the doctor came in and he said, "You've got bigger problems than appendicitis, Harold. You have stage 4 incurable colon cancer."
Mm.
And it just knocked me off my feet. And I asked him again. I said, "Can you please tell me that again, what you just said?" And he said it again. And at first, it was a shock. I was in shock. But very quickly, after he left, I got on my knees on the hospital room floor. I prayed. And after I prayed, I called my son and told him the news. And of course, I was crying through that.
Wow. I mean that is earth-shattering.
Yeah.
And to just have him say it the way he said it to you is just
Yeah.
and we've talked about this on the channel, the diagnosis, how different oncologists have different methods. I think yours was very, very rough. And
Yes, it was.
uh, so what was going through your mind? I mean, you prayed. I mean, that is incredible that you prayed right then and there and you called your son.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind?
Um, Unknown. I didn't know how much cancer there was. He said there was a lot. He said that if I didn't do chemo, I had 6 to 12 months to go. So it was the unknown basically that started to eat away at me. But the whole time, I got to tell you, the whole time I have maintained a positive attitude. And that's the only thing I can do. I can't go in myself with a scalpel. I'm responsible for me and my attitude. And that's why I'm my own hero.
I love that.
Yep.
Just absolutely love that.
Yep.
Oh man, that is just great. And that's why it's so important for us to be our own heroes. And I am so happy to always meet incredible people who just need a voice to tell their story, because your story and other people's story need to be heard, so that other people can learn, and so they can go through the journey, if they're going through it,
Hmm.
with a different frame of mind.
Hmm.
Because let's talk about how important that is, and how important it has been to you and your journey.
Well, it's been very important as far as I'm concerned. I'm naturally a happy person, so I naturally find the good in things. It just seems to be who I am. So I knew that there would be something good that came from this diagnosis. And it's been 2.5 years. It's been a long haul. I've been on chemotherapy for those 2.5 years, and I'm suffering all the side effects from it. Um, but
What side effects are you suffering from?
oh my gosh, the exhaustion. The exhaustion is always present. There's not any time during the day that I couldn't lay down for 2 minutes and take a nap. So the exhaustion has been terrible. Bowel movements has also been very tricky, I can say. Um,
That's a kind word to say.
yeah, yeah. I have neuropathy from the original recipe of chemotherapy, which I was on for 8 weeks. I'm sorry, 8 trials, so that's 16 weeks. Um,
How
my
many
hands,
rounds, how many rounds have you gone through to date?
oh boy, it's a lot. I canceled the after the 8 trials of the first chemo. I had to quit. I had to quit. I just couldn't stand the side effects anymore. And then I had about a 2 month reprise, and then I started back up on chemo, and I've been on it since. So basically 2.5 years worth of chemo.
Oh my goodness. Wow. How many, roughly how many rounds would you say?
There's it's every 2 weeks. It's 26 is half of the year. So that's every 2 weeks. 26 plus 26 plus the 4 months. It's over 60.
Wow. That is a lot.
Yeah.
That is really a lot.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's affected my strength too. My ability to stand up straight when I get up off the couch is poor.
Hmm.
I have to be really careful when I stand up because I'll fall down if I don't be careful.
Do you use a cane or a walker?
Not yet, but
Okay.
my oncologist is suggesting that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a cane for about a year. I
Hmm.
used the cane and a little bit of a walker. I didn't want to use the walker because I just would didn't want to become too dependent on it. But I used the cane for a year, and every day I used that cane, my goal was to not use that cane.
Yeah.
I just told myself, I'm using it because like you said, you have to use it for stability, and but I always looked at that as a symbol that was kind of like a handcuff to me,
Yeah.
and I didn't want that.
Yeah. Well, good for you for not needing it anymore.
Yeah, no, I haven't used it since 2021, and
Awesome.
yeah, it is great. I didn't drive at all in 2021. I can drive. I walk hills.
Yeah.
Even I am walking really really fast now, which is really great. I always before having cancer, I worked out at the gym religiously 4 to 5 times a week. And so, um, I did cardio, I did weights and everything like that. And then when I got cancer, prior to cancer, I was probably up at about 175 pounds. I got cancer. And in the winter and the spring of 2021, I was down to 123 pounds. Yeah, I
Okay.
was I was thin. And I look back on my earliest videos, and it shocks me.
Yeah.
It is really shocking and scary to me because uh when you're doing it, you don't realize it, but then you look back and you think, wow, that's unbelievable. So I know exactly where you're coming from,
Yeah.
and what you've experienced. Did you have any experience with chemo brain?
Chemo brain.
Hmm.
Yes, I'm still experiencing it. It's affecting my speech. It affects my short-term memory.
Explain to the audience what chemo brain is, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure, chemo brain is a cognitive dysfunction, and it can happen basically anytime when you're on chemo, and it affects your memory system. The first memory system that it affects is the operating memory, and then it goes to the short-term memory. So I'm at the short-term memory part.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty rigid. It's pretty tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I've talked to where it's really prevalent are in childhood cancer patients,
Okay.
the chemo brain, because what happens is, have you heard of late effects?
No.
Okay, late effects affect childhood cancer patients because what happens is these are children that are getting similar doses of chemo to what adults get. And as they grow, their organs are affected and their brain is affected. So many, I've talked to a number of childhood cancer patients, and many of them deal with chemo brain
Hmm.
because their brain is not developed yet when they do get the chemo, and it really affects them.
That's
Really,
terrible.
yeah, it is. It is. So anyway, let's talk more about you got your diagnosis, you called
Yep.
your son. What happened from there?
Well, from there on, the doctor suggested the chemotherapy place. So I went there, and they were using, I forget what the name is, but anyways, it was a very aggressive recipe for chemotherapy. So I did 8 rounds there. Then I had to stop, and then about a 2 month break, and then I heard wind of this place called Cancer Treatment Center of America. And wouldn't you know it, God provided for one of their facilities to be right here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I called them. One phone call is all it took, and I became a patient. And they did all their initial diagnoses and tests and everything like that. And one of the scans showed that I was in the very sliver of being able to be operated on with a procedure called HIPEC. There's a very sliver of patients that qualify, and I happen to qualify for it because the chemotherapy had been working and it did remove some of the tumors that I had.
Hmm.
So this HIPEC surgery was on July 26th of 2021, and not many people know about HIPEC. It's a surgery where the doctor, the surgeon will cut you open from basically the bottom of your ribs down to the very beginning of your uh, pelvis area. And it took 15 hours. What they do is they bring the organs out of your body as far as they can, and they remove every single tumor that they can find. So it comes down to two centimeters or larger is what they can detect and what they see and what they treat. And then at the end of the surgery, they don't close you up yet. They fill your body cavity with chemotherapy liquid for 90 minutes at 105 degrees Fahrenheit. So that gets rid of the smaller tumors that are less than the 2 centimeters that they actually could see. So my son flew into town for that. And again, like I said, it was 15 hours. I had 47 staples up my stomach. And yeah. And that morning when I woke up, I was just so glad to see my son, so glad to see his face. And he told me, "You're one tough son of a bitch."
Wow. How old is your son?
He's 31 now.
Okay, fantastic. Wow. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I had never heard of that particular surgery before. That's
It's very rare.
yeah. Wow. That is something else. So
Yeah.
after you had the surgery, where did that lead to?
A couple of weeks of rest and then straight back into the chemotherapy treatment.
Wow.
Yeah. And
So
then I'm getting ready for my 11th operation.
of
I've had I've had 11 surgery or 10 surgeries, and I got
wow.
another one coming up. Basically, it's a PET scan revealed that there's another tumor on my liver, and they're going to go in and ablate it, take care of it.
11 surgeries.
Yeah,
Wow. That is really rough on the body.
yeah, it is for sure. I'm going to be very, very honest with you, but I'm going to use good words to explain one of them. When a male child is born, his testicles are not dropped yet. Over time, they drop through holes and they end up back in the scrotum. During my chemotherapy, when they were bathing my body for that 90 minutes, chemotherapy liquid went through those holes and it started to kill my skin. I had a patch on my scrotum that we had to wait until the full effect of the chemo happened. Otherwise, they'd had to do a second surgery. So that waiting period was very painful, as you can imagine. So one of the surgeries was cutting open my scrotum and removing the dead skin patch and then sewing it back together.
Wow.
Yeah, let me tell you, that night when I was home, I got home that night. They offered for me to stay for pain care. And I said, no, I got this. But guess what? I didn't have it. I didn't have it at all. I was taking red caps to try to catch up with the pain. And I'm telling you, that was the most painful experience I've ever had.
Mm. Yeah, I've been through a lot of most painful experiences.
You know,
It's not fun at all.
no, it's not, especially
But
when it's in a sensitive area.
oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, oh yeah. I mean I have been through so many different things, and
Yep,
you know the thing that always goes through my mind is how in the world do they figure out how to do this? You know,
exactly.
it's just so a lot of that stuff is so invasive, and it's
Yep,
so you know you one thing as a cancer patient you throw out the window before you walk in the facility is your pride, because
yes.
you will not
No,
have
there's no pride.
no.
No, those stupid gowns don't tie up tight enough.
No, they don't. But it also helps, you know, when you have great nurses, and
Oh yeah,
that makes a big difference. And when you have compassionate people who are caring for you,
yeah,
that helps. Not always the case,
right.
but
I'm very fortunate that I'm friends with my nurse team.
that's
I'm friends
great.
with each one of them.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's
Yep,
really good.
yep. I'm very fortunate.
It helps to have, you know, in a cancer journey, it really people don't realize how important it is to have people on your side. Uh,
You're right.
and the more people that you have, the better. I mean, I don't know how I was so fortunate to have so many people be willing to help me. But I am fortunate, and that's why I'm so obligated to help people uh, whenever I can now.
You do a great job, Mark.
Oh, thank you so
You
much.
really do. People need to know that.
Thank you. And uh, it's really important to me. I mean, when I first started this channel, I just wanted to help one person.
Yep.
And that happened, like, I don't know, I don't remember exactly when, but it happened after 3 weeks, a month or something. Somebody said, "Hey, that was really good. I really appreciate that."
Hmm.
And, it went from once in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, to once every couple weeks, to once every week, to now it's several times a day, and
Right.
sometimes too many times, but
Right.
there is no too many times. I always try to make the effort to get to people, because I know how important it is. I know how desperate people are for information, and for somebody to care about them in some instances,
Yep.
or somebody to offer an encouraging word.
Yep.
How important that is.
It is.
Yes,
Cancer
absolutely.
has cancer has taught me lots of things, like that, for example. Cancer has actually given me two new eyeballs. I see so many more things now, and I'm sure you do too. I see so much goodness in the world. There is so much goodness out there. There's those people like you talked about that reach out to you. Maybe they're in need, maybe you're in need, but it's mutually beneficial.
I love that comment. Cancer has given me two new eyeballs, and that's going to be the title of this video.
Awesome.
I love that. Absolutely love that. I have not heard that before, and that's your unique moniker. Uh,
Yes.
uh, Cancer has given me two new eyeballs. I love that.
Yep.
That is truly awesome.
Yep.
So, what else has cancer taught you?
Well, of course, the standard that life is fragile. There's not much time actually for everybody. Not everybody lives to be 99. Um, it has enhanced my bond with my son. He calls me every day on his way home from work. That's love. That's commitment. And I need to honor that. And let's see, what else have I learned?
How long has that gone on for?
Well, about 2 years.
Oh, since you got diagnosed then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. That is truly awesome.
Yeah. In fact, he has expressed his interest in taking care of me. He knows that I can't walk well. I just went out to Houston, where he lives, about a month ago. So he saw my condition. And even before he saw my condition, he expressed his desire to help me. And in order for that to happen, I would have to move to Houston. So I thought about it, thought about it, thought about it. And then all these synchronicities just kept coming up. The word Houston kept showing up everywhere, in songs, on TV, in commercials. And I took it as a sign. I'm like, okay, I'm going. So on September 26th, I'll be moving to Houston to be with him.
That is fantastic, and I love to hear that. And I know things are going to work out really well for you, and you're going to be a lot happier too, uh, having him there. One of the greatest things that happened to me is um, in the early summer of 2021, my older daughter, Lisa, she came and stayed with me for 2.5 months.
Wow.
And that was one of the greatest experiences of my life,
Yep.
because I had the opportunity to get to know my adult daughter, which was priceless.
Yep.
Absolutely
It is.
priceless. And, I told her that was the greatest thing that anybody's ever done for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe that.
No, no, it was phenomenal. Plus, she is a sensational cook. And
Oh boy.
yeah, and she cooked all my meals.
Awesome.
And so that was when I was just starting to turn a corner. And, from being 123 pounds, and I changed my diet. And so I incorporated uh, grass-fed beef and organic turkey, organic chicken, and wild salmon. And I realized early on that my body was starved for this kind of protein.
Hmm.
And so when she came, she was making me 5, 6 full meals a day
Wow.
because I was so hungry and so famished. She would put down a plate in front of me and I'd literally bite her fingers and polish off the plate before she left. I was so hungry. I mean,
That's awesome.
big plates of food, and it was so good. And and we laughed every day, and she helped me to start this channel, and she helped me start a Caring Bridge site. And so she did so much for me, and I'm forever grateful uh to you, Lisa, if you watch this.
For
um,
sure.
yeah, my mom's my biggest fan. She watches every video, and
Does she?
yes,
That's awesome.
she always makes a comment about it, and yeah, I always look forward to that.
Yeah, that's awesome. She'll
So,
give you her honest feedback.
yes, yes, and she'll make a comment about yours when we put it up. So,
Yeah.
but what else have you learned through this experience? What is the most important thing that you've learned through this experience?
Well, there's always the relationship with my son. It has become stronger, and for that, I'm very grateful. Other things that I've learned that are very important. Well, for one, being on time for your meetings or for your appointments. There's some weeks when I have like 12 appointments.
Hmm.
They got me seeing everybody in the whole place. Uh, to be kind to people. You never know what someone's going through. When I go to the grocery store, they don't know what I'm going through. They see me walking frailly, but they don't know what I'm going through. Just like other people, I don't know what they're going through. So just to be kind, just try to spread love in the world.
Love that. Absolutely love that. That is awesome. So, what would be your final thought for our audience uh, that you want to leave them about Harold?
About me,
Yeah.
okay, I believe in kindness. I love kindness. I think that everything starts with love, uh, especially if it's a difficult conversation that you have with a coworker. Start it with love. We're all human. We're all experiencing pain, suffering, and joy and happiness.
Hmm.
So from my standpoint, that's me. That's who I am as a person.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Harold, thank you so much for spending time with us on To Be Your Own Hero. I mean, it's been a pleasure, and I look forward. What I want to do with you is bring you back down the road.
Okay.
Uh, after you've gone through some more of your things, because yours is an ongoing journey.
Yep.
So let's, touch base again down the road and bring you back,
That
because
sounds great.
I think you're going to have more to share with us. So thank you very much.
Thank you
And
very much for having me. I appreciate it.
oh, absolutely. And I'd like to thank everyone for joining us at To Be Your Own Hero. Please subscribe to the channel, make a comment in the comment section, and ring the notification bell for further videos. And I always like to end each interview with a couple of quotes, and this is from Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. The first one is keep probing for that tremendous quality built into you, which has not yet emerged. And the second one is you will never know what great things you can do until you try, really try. And so with that, I'd like to thank everybody once again for joining us at the Be Your Own Hero. And like Harold had mentioned, you don't know what that other person is going through that you're walking by, that you see at the bank, that you see at the store. Smile at them, say hello to them. Let's help make this divisive world that we live in a better place, a happier place. And it all starts with small things. And if we all make the effort to, to help your fellow human being, your fellow man, that's how this world is going to get to be a better place. And so make the most. Life is precious. Make the most out of every day, every single hour, every single minute, and every single breath. Thank you, Harold, and thank you once again, all of you, for joining us at To Be Your Own Hero. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.